What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. How's everyone doing today? I'm sure a lot of you are excited. It's March 24th. You would have downloaded the patch and have been playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint's new Deep State episode 2 content. And I know there's been a lot of issues with servers and some bugs or whatnot. Just sit tight. I'm sure Ubisoft, like always, is working hard trying to remedy any issues you might be experiencing. But real quick, for those of you who might have loaded up the game or loaded up Uplay and realized that now you have two Breakpoint files to choose from. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Breakpoint Vulcan. I wanted to explain to you real quick, in case you didn't know, this news came out a few days ago. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is using a new API that interacts between the GPU and the game itself to draw the frames on your computer, like DirectX 11 and 12 does right now for you. And this is called the Vulcan API. So real quick, for those of you if you're confused, it's a graphics API, and it behaves as the middleman between the game and your PC's GPU, the graphics processing unit. So when playing games on a PC, while performing any graphical intensive tasks, the CPU and GPU, they work together, and they coordinate, they work in parallel to produce the image on your monitor, on the frames on the monitor. The player's maximal frame rate in the case of playing games is determined by the slower of the two. So if your CPU is worse or the GPU is worse, then that's your bottleneck right there. Having said that, controlling the frame rate by changing the graphic settings to enhance the GPU workload is limited, and performance is usually decided by the CPU and GPU hardware parts. So this API, as the middleman, it can enhance the workload that translate to a better performance in game. The APIs such as Vulkan offer more flexibility and the ability to work more closely with the hardware capabilities, therefore requiring less CPU usage and really putting max load more on the GPU. The flexibility is allowed at the expense of additional coding complexity needed by the programmer. So that's really good, I guess, while designing the game. Despite DirectX API being more than 10 years old, it still delivers excellent performance, but at cost of high CPU processing. So additionally, some feature support by modern GPUs are not compatible with the older APIs included in DirectX. So Vulkan offers the benefit that will reduce both CPU and GPU costs while enabling us to utilize more modern GPUs, features that will bring exciting new things in the future. So all that jargon basically means if you're sitting at home and you invested more money in a modern GPU to ramp up your computer, to beef it up, and your CPU may be a little on the old side, or you think that's where your bottleneck is, I recommend you using the Vulkan API and trying it out and see if the game runs better for you. So we touched briefly on how the Vulkan API will improve the performance on different levels. This will be achieved by various features: improved texture streaming, dynamic buffer cache, and asynchronous compute. It's worth noting that consoles already use this feature, and with Vulkan, we will be able to bring these features to PC players. So improved texture streaming. Using dedicated data transfer hardware in your GPU, Vulkan allows us to stream textures much faster than previously possible, while improving the smoothness of your gameplay, especially when using high quality texture settings. So for those of you who want to play on ultra high settings with Ghost Recon, and maybe you feel like you're not getting the best bang for your buck that you thought you would, try this Vulkan API out, and maybe your GPU will really kick in more using this API. What dynamic buffer cache or cache. Thanks to powerful memory control provided by the API, dynamic data used to update graphical state is heavily optimized for multi-thread usage and has small memory footprint, boosting your CPU frame times while reducing memory fragmentation. Asynchronous compute. On newer GPU architectures where this feature is supported, the Vulkan render will automatically run more graphic work in parallel, reducing the GPU frame times and increasing frame rate. So as you can see, the hardware support, as per the PC system requirements, it's supported by the same GPU required as Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. AMD Radeon R9, 280, RX 480, RX 5700 XT, the Radeon 7. NVIDIA GTX 960, 1060, 1080, 1080 Ti, and RTX 2080. So that's the hardware support, and that's as per the PC system requirements. The Vulkan API will be supported by the same GPUs required. So if you don't see your GPU here, Like for instance, I have the 1070 Ti. I'm not sure, maybe it's not supported by this uh, API, this Vulkan API. So for those of you who maybe you don't see it up here, recommend you might be able to run Vulkan API and see how it works. Then run the regular one, see if it works, see how it works, see if you see a difference. But if it's not here, I recommend just using the your regular load up, which in Uplay right here. And if you do see your GPU there, run the Vulkan, see what's up. And so yeah, and GPU memory over subscription, requesting more GPU memory than available. That's what DirectX drivers have an advantage at handling GPU memory over subscription. When GPU memory over subscription happens with Vulkan, it can trigger stuttering and potentially crash. To address this, players are advised to keep an eye on the estimated memory consumption displayed on the graphics setting menu and try to reduce the texture quality or the resolution of the game. So if you're having issues there and you realize that it's really not working out, you're gonna have to really play around to see which one of these are going to work better for you with your PC. And then there's a bunch of facts here. I'll leave this splash up on the screen. I just wanted to get this quick video out to you. If you can't start the game in Vulkan, the Vulkan.exe, delete the grb.ini video in the graphics setting file. It should be located in your users. Then your user should have like your name, documents, my games, goes Recon Breakpoint folder. Find it in there, delete it, verify your file games in Uplay, and then try again. So you come into your Uplay, you come to your game, you come down to properties, and then you verify the files. Okay. And you do that. Is the game save common between the two? Yes, you can swap between two at any time. This is just the API to draw everything on your monitor from the game to talking to the GPU. Don't worry about anything like that. The video and graphics setting file the same for Vulkan exe. Yes, they save your video and graphics setting in this one file. The system requirements the same. Yes, DX11 and Vulkan system requirements are the same. Recommend though having Vulkan ready graphics card with at least 4 gigs of memory. So that's what they recommend. So you can still try to use this API with a GPU that's not up here, but that's what they recommend. HDR is not running on my system. Color seems washed out, nowhere near those on DX11. What can I do? Make sure you have the latest graphic drivers installed. Game's not running on my laptop. Use NVIDIA Optimus technology. What can I do? Make sure you start the game using the dedicated graphics processor. So maybe for those of you who might have an integrated processor on your motherboard, maybe you're having issues there. I don't know. And that's it. I wanted to get that information out to you guys nice and quick. And I'll be uploading this for you just in case you're confused about what the Vulkan API is. And I will see you all later in the next video. Have fun playing today. I will be uploading footage all week, so stay tuned. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.